Hello friends. So now we will discuss the next question number 12 of the exam, paper 2. So this is about the judicial legislation, and the question is judicial legislation is antithetical to the separation of powers as envisaged in the constitution. So in this context, we need to justify the filing of large number of PILs where judiciary issue necessary directions to the executive authorities. So here, this question, we need to write the positives as well as negatives. So judicial legislation, we need to write it is antithetical means negatives, and justify means positives. So we need to justify the filing of PILs in the context of filing PILs. So to start with the answer, you need to write the definition of the judicial legislation. So judicial legislation is nothing but the making of or drafting of laws by the judiciary. So government by judiciary. You can say judicial legislation is government by judiciary. Or law making by judiciary. So, as you can see, it is the encroachment upon the powers of the executive as well as the legislature. Encroachment of the powers of executive legislature. As you know that the Article 50 that of the Directive Principles of State Policy, it envisages the Constitution, or it envisages to have the separation of powers between the executive, legislature and judiciary. So there should be separation of powers. So as to, every organ of the government, work harmoniously and in the progressive way with each other, work in tandem with each other without interfering in the work area of others. Okay, so that is the Article 50, the directive principles of state policy, which state has to ensure that there should be strict separation of powers between the different organs of the government. But as we have seen in the past few years that judiciary has made various laws or issued various guidelines which seems to be, or which you can say that is can be said as to be to encroach upon the powers of the other organs of the government, that is executive and legislature. So we have seen various instances. So you can quote like basic structure of the constitution. So basic structure so basic structure just wait. So basic structure of constitution. So as you know, in the Keshwanand Bharati case versus state of Kerala in 1973, so as you already know that Supreme Court has put forward the doctrine of basic structure of the constitution. Now this doctrine, basic structure of the, that is a purely novel concept which has been put forward by the judiciary. And why this concept has been put forward, or this doctrine? Because parliament has, parliament is exercising its unlimited amendment power which is being provided in the constitution under article 368, and that is why Supreme Court has put up a restraint on the power of the parliament, that it cannot it cannot amend the this basic structure of the constitution. So it defines some provisions which are under the basic structure, and said that these, for example, federalism, then you can say the freedom of speech and expression, and equality before law, Article 14, Article 19, Article 21. So they are basically part of basic structure, because they are, and judiciary, powers of judiciary, judicial review, you can say. So these are part of basic structure which cannot be amended even by the parliament, because uh, secularism, okay, then social justice. So these are part of the basic structure. So this basic structure, you can say, is a part, has been put forward by the judiciary, which is a novel concept, and you can say judiciary exercise is judicial, you can say judicial legislation, when it put forward this basic structure. So it issued the guidelines to the, it very well issued guidelines to the state that you cannot amend this part. So that is equal to enforcement of a law, okay, equivalent to the enforcement of a law. So that you cannot amend the basic structure. So this is the first instance, or there may be many instances before also, but prominent instance which we have seen in the past, that is the basic structure of the constitution. Then Vishakha guidelines, okay. Vishakha guidelines. Vishakha guidelines, you know that it has been put forward in 1997. So it put forward various. So it has made various provisions related to prevent the harassment, to prevent the harassment of women at workplace. So that is a, so, and it has been, so this is, it has been put forward, this Vishakha guidelines, in response to a PIL filed by a NGO or a group named Vishakha. So something related to that. But Supreme Court has issued the guidelines to prevent the harassment of women at workplace to the executive authorities. Then Puttu Swami case, है ना, right to privacy, part of Article 21, that is right of life and personal liberty. Okay, so this is also a judicial legislation case. Okay, many instances you can quote in your exam. Puttu Swami case, then you can write, just a minute, Menka Gandhi case, filed by Menka Gandhi in the form of PIL, Menka Gandhi case versus Union of India, है ना. इसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट एक्सपेंडेड द स्कोप ऑफ जुडिशियल रिव्यू. How? So previously, if any law, so I'll write in on the top. So Menka Gandhi case, we will study in details about all these cases in another lecture. But in Menka Gandhi case, Supreme Court says that no authority can deprive a person of his life or personal liberty, है ना. तो इनिशियली क्या है, आर्टिकल 21, नो पर्सन कैन बी डिप्राइव्ड of his life and personal liberty unless due to a procedure established by a law. ठीक है ना. अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक्सपेंड किया इसका स्कोप और बोला कि नो पर्सन कैन बी डिप्राइव्ड ऑफ हिज लाइफ ऑफ पर्सनल लिबर्टी अनलेस ड्यू प्रोसेस of law. So procedure established by law has been expanded to due process of law. Now due process of law, I have already explained in my previous lecture, is procedure established by law plus just, reasonable and fairness of law. So the law itself should be just, reasonable and fair. You know. So in previously, if it is procedure, if any procedure is being established by a law, if the law is legal or has been passed by the legislature following the proper procedure, then the law can be implemented, which can deprive a person of his life or personal liberty. Now, due process of law means the person cannot be deprived unless there is a procedure established by the law, and the procedure should be just, fair and reasonable of procedure. So that is actually procedure. The procedure itself should be just, fair and reasonable. Procedure of law. Procedure also which is being described by the law should be just, fair and reasonable. So that is due process law. Thus, in Menka Gandhi case, expanding the scope of judicial review, so it will check whether the procedure itself is just, fair and reasonable of judicial review, and expanded the scope of Article 21. ठीक है ना. तो ये बहुत ही प्रोमिनेंट केसेस हैं जहां पे सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अपनी जुडिशियल लेजिस्लेशन, मतलब पीआईएल, बेसिकली पीआईएल फाइल हुई है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में. पीआईएल क्यों फाइल होती है? पीआईएल आप जानते हैं, पीआईएल हैज बीन फाइल्ड इन द कोर्ट्स टू टू एड्रेस any grievance which has happened anywhere, not it is influencing you only, maybe it has influenced the third person, but if Supreme Court or the court feels that the PIL is justified in the form of it has been impacting a large amount of population, a mass population, what is used for it is required for the welfare of a large number of people, so PIL can be accepted. So basically, to address the grievance of a large number of people, if the Supreme Court feels or the court feels that executive authority or legislative authority has not exercised its authority in a proper manner. और so ये बेसिकली जुडिशियल लेजिस्लेशन की जरूरत क्यों पड़ती है, तो आप इसके लिए ये भी लिख सकते हैं कि when executive or legislative authority has refused to exercise, है ना, अगर उसने रिफ्यूज कर दी अपनी एक्सरसाइज, रिफ्यूज यानी कि उसने नहीं एक्सरसाइज नहीं की अथॉरिटी, और एनक्रोच और नॉट, यू कैन नॉट, इट शुड नॉट बी एनक्रोच बट exceeded its power to exercise the authority, है ना, then Supreme Court can intervene or High Court can intervene and judicial legislation and can issue various guidelines, or you can say can make judicial legislation to fill that void, to fill that null and void created by the executive, है ना. But nevertheless, you can say that it is required because it is judiciary to whom the responsibility is there to address the grievances of the citizens or to give him justice where justice has been usurped or justice has been denied to him. So it is the duty of the judiciary to give him justice. So justice, because it's a social justice, it's a part of basic structure of the constitution. So that is required. That is the duty of the government. But if the government has not fulfilled that duty, then it is the duty of judiciary to fill that word and perform that duty of providing justice to the common person. Now, in spite of this, judiciary should exercise restraint also, because we have seen many instances also where it is being seen that judiciary may exercise restraint because it has encroached upon the domain of the executive, and that can be prevented. Okay. कहीं बचाया जा सकता था तो वहां पे बचाना चाहिए. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आपने दिवाली में क्रैकर बैन किया है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आपको पता है दिवाली में क्रैकर बैन सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने किया. क्रैकर बैन, तो क्रैकर बैन में ऑब्वियसली जो क्रैकर बैन है दैट इज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव टू पुट फॉरवर्ड द ऑर्डर or the guidelines to ban the crackers, but this cracker ban has been done by judiciary. So that you can say one instance of judicial legislation which can be prevented. और जो किया था banning of selling alcohols, है ना, alcohol sell within 500 meter of highway, along the highway and 500 meter you can say banning of selling alcohol along the highway and within 500 meter of the highway, है ना. तो you can say, just a minute, ठीक है, within 500 meter along the selling alcohol along the national highway और state highway, है ना, national NH और state highway SH. उसके अलावा ठीक है. Then along with it national anthem, making playing of national anthem compulsory in cinema halls. ठीक है ना, national anthem, playing of national anthem in cinema hall, okay. Then SC/ST Atrocities Act, उसको कुछ प्रोविजंस को नल एंड वॉइड कर दिया गया था, और जब गवर्नमेंट ने अगेन हैज इम्प्लीमेंटेड द सेम प्रोविजंस, then Supreme Court has okayed it, has approved it. So that can be prevented. SC/ST Atrocities Act. Then banning selling of BS4 vehicles after 2020, April 2020, है ना. So as you can see, we have seen various instances where these type of things which are not that much you can say comes within the exclusive domain of the executive, because Supreme Court can only issue guidelines to the center or to the state that you should make a law preventing the pollution which is being prevalent in the society. So you can in the environment, so you can make a law to prevent the pollution, but it should not make a law it's himself, like banning selling of. So it should not ban it. It can say that the vehicles they are on the BS4, So engine is on BS4, so they should be upgraded so that the pollution can be prevented. But it has made law. We have seen that it has made law in its own right. उसके अलावा it has laid down regulation for BCCI also that can be prevented also, because BCCI comes within the domain of the executive, so, and that also doesn't affect the large number of population, so it should not accept that PIL and should not made regulations. So I think to maintain constitutional morality, it is at most required that judiciary should exercise a proper restraint also, so that it does not look into society that it is exercising encroachment, or it is encroaching upon the powers of the executive and legislature. So wherever required, where the freedom of speech and expression, or the life or personal liberty, these type of fundamental rights, they are under danger. So their Supreme Court, can come into picture and play the role of the grievance, the authority which actually address the grievance of the person, common man, and protect the freedom or personal fundamental rights of the common citizen. But wherever required, where these type of freedom or where these type of fundamental rights are not being violated, so there it can exercise some restraint and can issue necessary guidelines to the executive authority to frame a law, frame a proper law addressing that issue. So it can exercise restraint in that manner, and that is at most required to maintain constitutional morality. So with this you can end the answer. So, so these are some of the points which you can put forward in the exam, which can make your exam, enrich your exam, and can 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 get you getting good scores in the exam. Okay, thank you. Next we will meet with question number 13.